So what I have for you here today is a very different presentation than the two that you've seen so far. And for me, harvesting hope and sustaining passion for your business is all an internal, an inner work. And my business is called Inner Fortune. And I started this business in 2006 when I was in banking and was kind of coming to the edges of my comfort zone of what I was doing in the world. And wanted to do more, something more meaningful. And I realized that I had been journaling my entire life, well, since I was a young child, and that's what I knew how to do really well. So I created this Inner Fortune journal, and didn't know exactly what I was going to do with it or why I was creating it, but it was one of those things that I was completely inspired to do, and I just had to do, or else my life would be, ill-spent. So I did that and started to change the course of my future based on the inward looking that I was doing. So this presentation is my exploration of these questions, and I invite you to do the same in the brief amount of time we're spending here. Who are you? What are you doing? And why are you doing it? This pretty much sums up the purpose of life. And the biography that I wrote to share with this group, and actually have posted on my website, which I feel is pretty bold, is that Karen Ribeiro is a successful, wealthy, social entrepreneur with an abundance of peace, love, and joy in her family and community. As an environmental life and business coach, she invites clients to push their edges of understanding, wealth, and peace in their work and life. Karen is the 2013 USBI North American Biochar Symposium, I've said that so many times, conference director, and has had meaningful careers in advertising, banking, renewable energy, and consulting. She sustains a daily practice of mindfulness and writes a blog on Inner Fortune. Sometimes I read that and I'm inspired, and other times I read that and I said, what the hell? Who gives me the right to say that I'm successful, wealthy, and all of that? And it's a state of mind, it really is. And this state of mind is this, for me anyway, it used to be a pretty challenging shift from a fear-based state of mind where I'm being judged to a love-based state of mind, or a heart-based state of mind, where I'm just doing what's coming through, and I'm just doing my thing, and I'm not thinking much about it, I'm just doing it. And that's really the main message that I'd like to offer of how to sustain, or how to harvest hope and sustain passion for our life's work, or for life's work. And yesterday we heard from Margaret Boldis-Jonas. She said that anger is, I'm sorry, what did she say exactly? Anger is an expression of love. And we can get really angry about a lot of the things that we're exploring in this work. There are solutions that we can really see and want to happen yesterday. And there are obstacles in the way that can make us extremely angry. And every time we're triggered by those moments, people, experiences, it's an opportunity to say, where's not just the silver lining, but where's the love here? Where's the growth opportunity here? Why am I having this emotional experience right now? And what can I do about it? So my fear story, and I have written it, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, began right here at UMass. This is my alma mater. And when I came here, I started as an engineer and decided there weren't enough women in my classes and it wasn't fun enough. So I got into marketing and interpersonal communication. And having taken 21 credits a semester, I got 2 degrees in 4 years and didn't stop running after that because I felt like that was the thing to do. It's an American dream. You're just going to bust your ass, and I'm sorry, I swore twice already. I don't usually swear. And just,
That's not a swear word.
well, you know, my kids used to think that the S word was stupid and the D word was dummy. They're now teenagers, so they don't think that anymore. But I used to think that, you know, that was the way to be successful. That was what success meant. You had to invent something. You had to start a business. You had to, I was in sales for years. My first business was Success Motivation Institute, and I would memorize 45-minute presentations, and I would give them to car dealers and life insurance salespeople and cringe at the, you know, the apathy. But then I realized that actually this picture of the Apollo 8, or the you know, this walking on the moon, which happened the month I was born. I've read about it a few times. Once in Act of Hope, which is by Joanna Macy, and she talks about how, and Lynn Margulis, another one of my heroes who's from UMass, or was from UMass, talks about this discovery as Earth being able to see herself through our eyes. That's amazing, right? Like, we can look at the discovery, or the walking on the moon, and the picture of Earth that we got from that experience as a human achievement. Because aren't we amazing? Yes. And it's also a systemic achievement where we're in communication and cooperation with the Earth, and the Earth is seeing itself through our eyes, and we're seeing our more of our potential. And I feel like that's part of the work of being alive, but kind of synthesizing the mind and the heart, the inner and the outer world, the human experience and the natural experience, or understanding of nature, the understanding of ourselves and the understanding of nature in synthesis is kind of that next frontier. And so when I started to really delve into this and commit to inner fortune, I just had to write. I really wrote a lot. I started writing this book called Thirsty, which is over there, journaling to survive, thrive, and feel alive. And I synthesized, you know, decades of journal writing into this book, this memoir. And it was just, I started writing it quite a long time ago, but then my mother died, and she didn't really like the draft, so I just like, forget it. It was a big long story, which I won't get into. And then again, I had that call, like, I have to finish this book. I just have to publish it. So I did that, and in the process, let go of all of that stuff that needed to be healed, needed to be processed. It was very cathartic. And from there, it was just happened immediately. The next two stories, the Fearless Voices, True Stories by Courageous Women, and Inspired Voices, True Stories by Visionary Women, came together in their collaborative works. And in the Fearless Voices story, I healed my dilemma with the American dream. My story is called Running to Heal, and it's about slowing down. And in the Inspired Voices book, my piece was called Universal Heart, and it's that, you know, mind-heart connection, and understanding that the connection that we make with each other they're just such an amazing opportunity for communicating on a level that's beyond words, beyond, sometimes beyond what we can fully appreciate. So the way for me to sustain that is to just be present with my physical body, so that I can be more present with my environments and the people around me. And it's a daily process, because I'm certainly not perfect at it. I'm shaking up here. So I'm like, my body's going, and I'm trying to be more present with all of you, and I'm really appreciating the eye contact and the nodding, and it's really supporting me. I love that. And so that's a nice segue to gratitude. In the book I mentioned by Joanna Macy, Act of Hope, which I was part of a book group, and truly enjoyed the process of reading a book with a group of people and talking about it. She writes this, or she includes this Haudenosaunee, the Mohawk, a short gratitude. And the Mohawk Trail, if you get to it, it's right up 202, right up Route 2, and it's just gorgeous foliage. This here I'd like to read. Today we have gathered, and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as one, as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one. We are all thankful to our mother, the earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk about upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our mother, we send greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. Oh, thank you, David. Thank you so much for that explanation. In fact, in the book, in this book called Act of Hope, when I read that whole address, I cried. It was the part of the book that was just most profound. And I love the fact that you said leave an open chair or open seat. It used to drive me crazy when I'd sit somewhere and there would be a seat next to me. And I'm like, nobody wants to sit next to me. I'd get really upset. And then one day I said, I'm leaving this seat for God right next to me. And it just changed my life. And that's kind of the shift that we all have to do on every moment. Every time we're triggered, we have to just say, where's the love here? Where's the goodness here? And just shift it and get into the heart. So these are some exercises in the Inner Fortune Journal. And they're so simple, but they're so complicated. I'm happy when. Just maybe take a few minutes. Just think of one of these exercises and jot down a couple of ideas. I am grateful for. I am. What? Ooh.
As a singer, who would I go? Repeat after me. I am somebody.
I am somebody. Hallelujah. And the last one is my I want list. What's it full of? You know? And so in those moments when we're really triggered, and John and I have a colleague in common who can really rattle because she wakes up every morning and makes it her job to make sure that these proposed bioenergy plants are not built. And you know, those kind of challenges that we can face in conversation, and we need to have this foundation established so that we can keep coming back to it, our touchstones. And spiritual warrior is something that I lead. Before I started this Biochar conference planning, I used to lead monthly roundtable discussions with women called Women in Spirit and Business. And we'd get together and talk about the challenges that we have, and how do we address fear in our life, and really work through some of the thoughts and all of that. And one of the exercises was, what is our essence? And we got up and did an essence pitch rather than a typical pitch about who we were rather than just what our business is. And I got up and I said, I'm a spiritual warrior. And it just felt so good. And I loved the fact that Margaret Bullitt-Jones mentioned that yesterday. She also mentioned sacred activism. So what can we do to be sacred activists? No. What can I do with what I have, where I am now? And answering those questions is basically the way to just live that inspired, that without thinking so much about it, just taking the next right step and developing that daily practice. And I'm sure we all have practices that sustain us, whether it's exercise, eating right, praying, stretching, yoga, thinking, journaling, whatever our practices are that sustain us. As long as they continue to sustain us and continue to inspire us, then the way just presents itself. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on let me start up again. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving. Thank you.